Buddy, and welcome to my channel. Hope everyone is fit and well. In this episode, I'm going to be talking about what's happening in the prisons today, prison news, and whatever else is happening in the headlines. So without further ado, let's get into it. So as you can see here on this app that I get on my laptop, which I get daily updates about what's happening in the prisons and also the headlines about what's happening around the world and around the UK and the different headlines. So as you can see at the top here, it's got all different categories and all different topics about what's happening in the UK in the news today. And I'm going to be talking about organised crime in this one because there's a few stories popped out about organised crime. But as you can see, the update is in the last couple of hours. And I've been having a look through some of these, and there is a few interesting stories what I think the viewers might find very interesting. So, which one should we pick today? I've just been having a look through a couple of them. So, a gang flooded Midlands with cocaine worth £1 million. So we'll just have a look at this. People see what's going on in this story. Nice handsome bunch of men there. So, members of an organised crime gang have been jailed for more than 70 years for their roles in a major drug dealing network. Police said the gang pumped cocaine into parts of Derbyshire, Leicestershire and Staffordshire before it was dismantled last year. Detectives said the dealers funded lavish lifestyle by poisoning the streets with drugs. Its leaders and their inner circle have been jailed at Derby Crown Court. Derbyshire police said the operation, known as Eddie Line, was controlled by Albanian brothers Edmund and Edward Hazari. That's rare. So the name of the operation is Eddie Line. I wonder if the man taking it was or the man distributing it, Eddie taking lines off Eddie. So the force said a relative of the Hazaris, Gazmond Hoxha, would travel to London from his home in Leicestershire to pick up the drugs and drop off the proceeds of the sales before returning to the Midlands to resupply the gang's numerous dealers. Those dealers then sold the drugs, often wrapped in lottery ticket stubs, to as many as 145 customers a day, making the gang hundreds of thousands of pounds over the course of a year. Derbyshire Crown Court heard the gang is thought to have processed 9 kilograms of cocaine with an estimated street value of up to £1.1 million. The Haziris drugs empire came to an end in March after a series of dawn raids across the country. 9 men have since been jailed for their roles in the enterprise. The last of those, Razvan Manoli, was sentenced on Friday. Do forgive me for these pronunciations of these different people because, as you can see, I think it's from Albanians and it's quite hard to pronounce these names. So, if I don't pronounce them properly, please forgive me. So, the last of those, Razvan Manolu, was sentenced on Friday. The Haziri brothers, Hoxha, Krasniki, the Stokas and Prifty were all found guilty by a jury at an earlier hearing. They were sentenced on the 18th of May. Garagan Manalu and Stavrat pleaded guilty at an earlier hearing. Detective Inspector Kane Martin, who led the multi-force investigation, said the Eddie Line was responsible for poisoning our streets with harmful drugs, but the gang simply didn't care about the damage they left behind. They reaped the rewards of their crimes, living lavish lifestyles in London and elsewhere, while the cocaine they pumped into the Midlands destroyed families and relationships. The following defendants were convicted of conspiracy to supply cocaine. Edmund Hazari, 36, of Roundlin Gardens, Bromley, London, was jailed for 15 years. Edward Hazari, 35, of Shordellows Road, Lewisham, London, was jailed for 15 years and 6 months. Grasman Hoxer, 47, of Dennis Close, was jailed for 11 years. Alban Krasnicki, 35, was jailed for 9 years. Samuel Stocker, 26, was jailed for 8 years and 3 months. Simeon Stocker, 22, Wolverhampton, was jailed for 3 years and 6 months. Christy Prifty, 24, of Cambridge Street, was jailed for 4 years. Joshua Garrigan, 32, was jailed for 2 years and 8 months. Razvan Manalu, 28, jailed for 2 years and 8 months. Daniel Stavrat, 30, due to be sentenced next month. So that is the OCG Albanian gang, jailed for a total of more than 70 years for their roles in a major drug dealing network. So, as I said, I'm just going to be going through the headlines about what's in or what's on this actual app. So what I'll try and do is, normally, if they're just short stories like that, I'll just go through a few of them, maybe 2 or 3. But if, like I'd done the one yesterday, which I'd done about the IPPs, went on for around about half an hour, then I'll just cut them short and just do one at a time. Or if they're short stories, I'll do 3 stories in one. So, the next one I'm going to talk about, this is up in, where was it, sorry. Glasgow student laundered 325k for organised crime gang. A business student was caught funneling money through the post office for an organised crime gang. Goffin, son, 26, made 5 trips to branches across Glasgow between February and May 2021. Son deposited a total of 110 grand in small sums of dirty money into a number of random bank cards. Son was hauled into the dock and convicted of money laundering after his accomplice gave evidence at his trial. Zechin Zhang, 26, it's a good job I can pronounce these names because I've never read them before, and then first time reading them and pronouncing them, not doing too bad. Oh, where's that just went to? You know. Where we are. Sorry about that, people. Zechin Chang, 26, pleaded guilty earlier this year at Glasgow Sheriff Court to money laundering a total of 325 grand. Zhang of the city's Patrick was locked up for 11 months before he took to the witness box at the same court. He told Son's trial that the pair worked for the same associates and even carried out drop-offs in a shared Audi sports car. Son, meantime, claimed that he didn't think if what he did was illegal. Son, a first offender of the city's park house, was found guilty to his own charge of money laundering and will be sentenced next month. The charge is aggravated by a connection with serious organised crime. The court heard Son was snared with a bag of cash while police kept tabs on Zhang. Zhang told the trial that he was paid 3 to 4 grand to deposit money at the post office. He stated that he told Son about the operation after jurors heard he met a person called Fiona. Prosecutor Mark Allen said in his closing speech, Zhang and Son performed the same role. Sounds a bit like Zig and Zag. Son did the same thing, collect cash and cards and go to the post office. They had access to the same Audi and they sometimes passed the key to each other. You heard on occasion they would work with each other. Mr. Allen stated that the operation had a hallmark of crime. He added it must have been perfectly obvious to this exclusively educated student of business management. If it was not obvious to him, then I will be back at the university for a refund. The trial was told that Son visited post office branches in the city Sandefjord, Bellahouston, Hindland and Cross Hill. Son deposited sums between 5,000 and 30,000. Jurors were told Son claimed that he did not think about it if the money came from crime. Sheriff Shona Gilroy called for background reports and granted Son bail in the meantime. So it looks like Son won't be getting much sun where he's going, because he'll definitely be going to prison. But there's no pictures of him on there, but with a name like Son, I'd imagine he's from China. But Zechen Chan, well, there wasn't much yin and yang going on with Zechen Chan and Son, because as soon as he's been found, or as soon as he's went to the police station, he's actually went and copied his mate up. So it wasn't much brotherly bonding going on there, was there? Looking out for himself, as you find out most of the time. A lot of people do that. But we'll get one more story up, people, before I move on to something else. But as you can see here, all these different stories popping up. That one, these are off Saturday. Actually, I'll go to, we'll have a look on the most popular. So police uncover industrial-sized cannabis farm with drugs worth almost 700 grand. There must have been some stench coming off of that one. 2 seconds, people, while I shift this out the way. Right, get back to it, because these fucking adverts I keep popping up. Excuse my language. So look at the size of that, and look at the size of that extractor fan there. I'll just try and zoom in on this. The size of that cannabis farm, some big old buds on them. That would have took some cultivating. But look at the size of them extractor fans to get rid of all the smell. Some industrial sized fans going on there. So police uncovered a huge cannabis factory in an industrial park. Officers from the South Wales Police Organised Crime Unit searched a unit at Treforest Industrial Estate, Rhondda, Kiffond, on Thursday after thermal drone imaging suggested large-scale cannabis production. A Force spokesman said entry was forced and 3 men quickly made off from the scene. They were detained whilst attempting to escape from the roof. They were arrested and later charged with production of cannabis and have been remanded in custody awaiting trial. DS Leah Jones said this was another industrial-sized cannabis farm with a total of 650 plants recovered, with an estimated street value of between 230 and 690 grand. It goes on to say, I'd also like to thank 2 members of the public who helped officers detain the 3 men fleeing from the scene. But there is the images of the factory. Thermal imaging, because that's what they're doing these days with the drones going up and looking for heat. And imagine this is the heat source here in the middle. Obviously all the purple bits will be the cold. And this will be the heated bit of the thermal imaging. But like I say, looking at the size of that. But again, when the police value these sort of busts and that, and they're putting it between 230 and 690 grand, these are just street level values that they're coming up with if they're chopped down into 20 bags or 50 bags or whatever. And that's how they come up with the valuation of these type of seizures. But I'll just leave that one for now, people. But as you can see, there's loads of different topics to go on. Normally, I'll just talk about the prisons, but I will start putting in organised crime. As you can see here, murder, knife crime. I'll probably talk about gangs, different subjects, just to keep it entertaining for you all. But if you are liking this sort of content, people, remember to like, comment and subscribe. Let us know in the comments if you want to see more stuff like this, or whether you just want us to focus more on the prison side of it. But actually, before I wrap it up, I'll just talk about one more that's popped up there, and that is Scorpion submachine gun used in 2 Liverpool shootings seized by police. A submachine gun of the same type used in 3 murders in Liverpool has been seized by police as part of an ongoing crackdown on organised crime in the city. The Scorpion submachine gun was found by Merseyside police as they arrested an offender in March 2023 who is now serving a 5-year jail sentence for possessing a prohibited weapon, possessing a firearm without a certificate, and possessing cannabis with intent to supply. So if you're caught with a banned firearm, it's an automatic 5-year. That is the least you can get. And a banned firearm is anything like this. A handgun, obviously shotguns are different unless they're sawn off. But if you're caught with this type of equipment, you're going to be getting at least a 5-year. So the Scorpion is capable of firing up to 800 rounds at a time. Merseyside Police Constable Serena Kennedy says fatal shootings in 2025 followed the arrival of consignment of the weapons into the area. Her force was ranked outstanding in tackling serious and organised crime by His Majesty's Inspectorate of Constabularies. Following forensic examinations, the force has confirmed the firearm was used in 2 shootings carried out in late April to early May 2022. The first occurred on the 26th of April when a woman aged in her 50s was shot in the leg inside a home on Deverell Grove in Wavertree, Liverpool. The second on the 2nd of May when shots were fired at a house on the Beach Walk in Stonycroft, Liverpool. Detective Inspector Steve Ball said, as part of an ongoing investigation into the use of this firearm, we are now in a position to confirm that we believe the weapon is linked to 2 shootings in Merseyside. One of these incidents involved a woman who was shot in the leg in an appalling act of violence in Wavertree. The other was when a house was shot at in Stonycroft. This was extremely reckless and could have caused serious or fatal injuries. Investigations into both of these incidents remain ongoing, and if you have any information, blah blah blah, please get in touch. Detective Chief Inspector Ball added these weapons are highly dangerous and can fire up to 800 rounds at a time. There is no place for them on our streets. Last year we saw the loss of 3 lives: Ashley Dale, Sam Rimmer and Elle Edwards, who were all killed through the use of a Scorpion firearm. With the case of Sam, the investigation is ongoing and we are still appealing for information. The murders last year show why we are committed to a relentless approach to tackling serious organised crime. In 2002, there were 49 firearm discharges in Merseyside, and so far in 2023 there have only been 14, which is a 64% decrease. Information from the public is vital as we continue to break down organised crime groups who bring misery to our streets. He goes on to say, I completely understand that speaking up could be daunting, but when people are willing to support the police, we will ensure every possible avenue is progressed to protect them. So as you can see by that there, the Scorpion submachine gun, 800 rounds in a minute is an absolutely deadly piece of equipment, that mind. 800 rounds in a minute. But yes, I just thought I would add that little bit extra story on at the end, people, because I've seen it pop up there. But as I was saying, if you are liking that content, remember to like, comment and subscribe. But I'll leave that one there for now, people, until the next one. But keep an eye out for more videos, because I'm uploading videos every other day, or at least 2 to 3 videos per week. But if you are subscribed and you don't want to miss another video, hit the notification bell and you'll be notified as soon as any videos are released. Take care, people. Enjoy the rest of your day.